And to discuss our top story, we have in the News Night studio tonight Dr. P. Pullarao, is senior journalist. Pullarao, sir, just to begin with, in terms of this being a game changer, we've been talking about that, in this being a big way forward in terms of, the delivery services, in terms of delivery services reaching the right beneficiaries. Now that the Parliament has given its nod, do you think that the focus now shifts to the implementation at the ground level? Because that's going to be the big challenge.
Absolutely. You see, in a country like India, one of the main concentrations of government is to provide welfare services, get rid of inequalities, help people. And for that, this is a correct instrument to reach out to everybody. And it is not, a lot of change has taken place in the last 5 years too. More services were added to this system of giving direct benefit transfer. You have fertilizers, you are not just Narega or one small thing. Everything they want to channelize through this to cut off waste, to focus, to target delivery. And that's why government's money doesn't go waste, there's transparency.
There are no leakages.
So now you have a situation where there's legal status also for this new law. Earlier there was no legal status. Of course, you must also keep in mind it's not mandatory. Clause 7 of this bill says it's not mandatory, so nobody is left out. Those who get the Aadhaar number, you have another way of delivery. Therefore, now the step, as you have said, is Lok Sabha has passed it. Rajya Sabha, it has gone through it. Now they have to implement it.
But the major hindrance, as raised by the opposition most particularly, was on the privacy concern. Today, after Finance Minister explained it in great detail, we had a debate on the floor of the House, especially in Rajya Sabha. Do you think that the privacy concern attached with the entire concept of the bill has been really taken care of?
Definitely. You see, they have taken care of this. This has added more than what was there in 2010. This is a better bill. This is a more comprehensive bill. All these concerns have been taken care of. There is adequate scrutiny, there is adequate punishment. Earlier, any court in the country, any competent court can say, release the private data. Now it has to be a higher court. It has to be a high court. And the Cabinet Secretary has to decide. The Government of India, the #1 civil servant.
Privacy laws and rules have been made more and more stringent.
More stringent, more responsible at a higher level. So that privacy concern, I don't think holds much water. You can have it as an argument, but it's not a valid argument because it has been upgraded. The kind of scrutiny, the kind of protection, the kind of route you have to take to break into this. And moreover, the core biometric data will not be released in spite of all of this. So that also is there. That's what the Finance Minister has said today. The core information will not be released.
Well, it's taken a very long way finally to become a reality. Well, it started, UPA came up with the concept. In fact, if we just go a little back during the Vajpayee's regime, the concept of the citizenship card was issued, and then the concept was picked up by UPA and the Aadhaar, but that was particularly more on the lines of identity of an individual. But if you have to compare the UPA and this particular bill, the salient features.
You see, the main features is now it's got backing of Parliament. It can address you legally, it has got certain protections, citizen can demand certain protections, and there's a system. Earlier it was a kind of, a vague policy going on of government. It was not even registered as something which has the force of law. So that has gone, and don't forget that by
it's got more focused coordinates.
Absolutely.
More focus.
There's focus, there's responsibility, there's an authority, there's going to be a chairman, there's going to be, their roles and responsibilities are defined. So it's an entirely new thing. And you might also recollect, after this UD was started by the UPA government, 2010, by 2014 it has lost steam, the Supreme Court intervention and all that. I might say it became an NPA, non-performing asset. This government has revived it, and huge thousands and thousands of crores went into that UPA card, which is a very good thing. Now this government has revived it, so that's an asset now which will perform. And I like that because you just don't, there's continuity, strengthening, and there is something to look forward to, because finally, as you have said, after a long time, India has some number all over the country where you can access immediately.
Okay. From NPA to a PA, from non-performing asset to a performing asset. Now when we are talking about its implementation at the ground level, because the transfer of benefits to the beneficiaries, the benefits should go to the grassroots level. That's exactly what this bill actually aims for. The challenges will be there in terms of its implementation. they need to be countered.
No,
because now
absolutely.
the focus shifts to how we actually get on with the nitty-gritties.
You see, absolutely, because at the village level, at the district level, you must have high level information technology which gels into this. It should be seamless and it should work. So therefore, it's highly technical now. And there's the finance.
But do we have that sort of penetration of digital literacy at the grassroots level? That's still a challenge.
Yes, it is, but it helps you also. You see, now everybody is familiar that there is something called, digital technology, and you can use it, and you're there. And this helps spread it very fast. Therefore, this is a technology upgrade for the country also. And now, the Prime Minister, this government has introduced so many new things, this Jan Dhan Yojana and other things, which can use this card.
Yes.
There are a whole slew of services which they want to bring inside this. Therefore, this also has enough work. Its capacity can be utilized. Otherwise, it would be unutilized capacity. Now that there are more
Basically, you're saying that this can also be integrated with the other signature campaigns launched by Prime Minister Modi, like Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Jan Dhan, the similar sort of initiatives.
Absolutely. Okay. You see, this card, you can also use it for finding out about NGOs. Every NGO, every small scale, medium industry can come within this. Every bank loan, every bank customer. So you have a picture of everyone's economic activities. What is the country's need? This is a genuine thing to get in real touch with what's happening in the economy of the country and the social health of the country.
Role of states in this, when you talk about the social health of the country, the economic ecosystem. Now, states in this, if you look at the bill, states are also one of the most important stakeholders.
Absolutely. It's the states which implement all these things finally, you see.
So basically, the buck stops with the states because the implementation starts from there. And if that fails, then there's an issue.
No, the states are very well geared. The states for the last 4 or 5 years, 97 crore people have registered for Aadhaar.
Yes.
And they are done by the state agencies. It's not a central agency which is there doing it. It's a state agency which propagates this, which has to feed the services, which has to implement the services. So I don't think there's any problem there. And there is an adequate level of information technology in the Indian bureaucracy. And there is enough consultants, there are enough low-level technical expertise available everywhere. So this is a thing which suits India. We have information technology access and it will spread. Even a person who has very little literacy will start understanding what this is about. It creates an awareness. It brings about unity also. A person's right from the northeast to Kanyakumari, he's on the same kind of web. He's on the same system. And you can, even if you go from one place to the other, your economic history, your social history follows you. So this is a very big step. And the finance minister said something very interesting, that nothing remains static. Things evolve. This is the technology.
Very briefly, just in a line or two, we're running short of time, especially on the lines of how Prime Minister Narendra Modi's outreach in terms of getting consensus on this particular bill, because there's been debated so much on the floor of the House and the privacy concerns and other concerns raised by the opposition, but finally you get everybody on board and you give nod to the bill.
Well, definitely, they have made this seem that this was necessary, and they have mentioned that this was started by the UPA. It is not our bill alone, it's the country's bill. They have offered it as something of a national effort, not somebody's sole effort, and therefore this has met with a lot of approval everywhere in all quarters.
All right, the bill for the nation. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Dr. P. Pulla Rao, Senior Journalist, for joining us on News 9. Thank you.